Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2014. We're going to take a look at the market action today and then look at a couple trade ideas, and that will be it for tonight. Okay, the Dow was up 43.5 points today. It was down early, fought its way back. Indicators aren't really showing us a whole lot more of anything. Let's look at the S&P 500. A little bit of a doji bar almost in here on the S&P 500. Not nearly as bullish as the Dow action today. It was down 1.41 points. So we really had a mixed day. I mean, the Dow was up. S&P down, the Nasdaq was down pretty strong actually. Nasdaq was down 48.69 points. Tesla was down 10% at one point today. Of course, Solar City, we got stopped out of Solar City today and it was being smashed. They smashed all the solar stocks. And I'm not sure what the deal was with Tesla. I haven't tried to search or anything, find out a reason why. All I know is, down about 10% at one point. So we got the Nasdaq down pretty good in here, closing below the 10. Looks like it's trying to round over. Let's take a look at the, the RSI is below 50. DI minus is greater than DI plus for today. So if we break the low tomorrow, today's low tomorrow, that kind of is a signal that DI minus has taken control. And the demand index just went negative. So all of a sudden the Nasdaq is looking like it's trying to roll over. Russell 2000, pretty big down day today too, down 14, pretty good bar. And the interesting thing on the Russell 2000 is that we're getting the 10-day exponential breaking below the 21-day, and the last time that happened was, let's see if it was this day. Actually, I think it was this day here, July 11th. So about 2 months ago was the last time that happened to the downside. And prior to that was March 25th. So, this could portend, this little break in here and this turn to the downside could portend several weeks of selling, at least on the Russell, and we'll see how it carries over to the other side. All right, let's take a look at the short-term trading index. We are getting an extreme reading for the first time since December, the end of December. Let's see, when was the last time? 8.85 in here, 0.92. So the last time we had this reading was December 31st, and that was like we had several readings in a row. Down below 0.90, okay? Today's 10-day moving average reading is 0.886. That's the first time we've gotten below 0.9 on a 10-day moving average since December, and that was 2 weeks prior to a pretty good little sell-off. And of course, we had, in 2013, we had several of those readings, mid-November, mid-September, right near the high, mid-July, and then right around the 1st of August before the sell-off in August, and then mid-May and late May before that big June sell-off. So this is kind of interesting that all of a sudden we are now getting that reading today in a market that was pretty mixed today. The only indice that was to the upside was the Dow. So kind of interesting. And the VIX keeps trying to fight to the upside. So the VIX was up 0.81 today, closing at 14.12. That's the highest close since August 12th. So in a little over a month, that's the highest close on the VIX. So it looks like it's trying to turn to the high side. We may have some selling coming in here. And I think that's all I'm going to look at for tonight with the market, with the indicators. I mean, we got 1 day worth of action. I mean, we can't overanalyze it too much. All right, the two, I told you we got stopped out of Solar City. We're still in on Valero, and we're still in on Melco Crown Entertainment. Although Melco was selling off, and I'm hoping it's going to hold. We'll see what happens with the Chinese, with the gambling stocks tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not changing my stop. Tomorrow is my 10th day. If I'm still in at the end of the 10th day tomorrow, then I'll be tightening my stops, as I mentioned yesterday. I'll tighten it, and I'll tell you what I'm doing on the Trade Ideas webpage. All right, let's take a look at 3D systems first. Okay, I told you yesterday that I was watching this to see if we got a breakdown, got a break below 20. So we got it today. Now, I would prefer not to have quite as big a bar as we got today. I mean, that's what I call a WR7 bar, a wide-ranging 7 bar, which means the widest ranging bar in the last 7 days. Now, you know, sometimes that makes a big difference and sometimes it doesn't. And the fact that it's the first move down here below the 10 and breaking this trend line. Let's see what else we're getting up here. Now, you know, the RSI is below 50. DI minus is above DI plus today. And demand index just went negative. So I'm going to go ahead and put a trade idea out there to buy puts. I'll put an entry point for tomorrow morning. It's not going to be where we closed, okay? So it's going to be an entry point down here below. I like to see some confirmation that we want to continue to go to the downside when we enter. So we're going to take a look at that. And then the other one is First Solar. And I talked about First Solar in here about how the ADX was so low when I did an update on this last week. So we're getting this close below the 10. Well, that's happened a couple of times here before, but the interesting thing, couple things. It broke this trend line on the RSI. Okay, now this is a trend line dating back to mid-July, and the fact that we broke that for the first time today, I think that's a pretty strong signal. And the fact that I'm getting this close below the 10, and that, you know, we basically had divergence in here. This is bearish divergence. Okay, so that combination of things, demand has not gone negative yet, and DI minus has not gone above DI plus. But I'm going to go ahead. Last time we got a break like this, right in here, it went ahead and went down for, you know, pretty good little distance, enough to make money on a trade anyway. And I think given the fact that it broke that trend line on the RSI, we may have more of a move coming in. Now, let me go back to that. And the last time, what I talked about on my update last week was how low this ADX was. See how I've got this line in here at the 10. Okay, the ADX hit the 10, really, really low, and it hasn't done that in years and years and years. Okay, so it's a pretty low ADX. A lot of times when you get a very low signal on the ADX, not every time, it's not an absolute. Nothing's an absolute when it comes to the market. But sometimes when you have this kind of low reading, it means there's a potential for a big move coming. All right, so right now I'm going to go ahead and look for an entry point on this for tomorrow morning also, and put the details on the Trade Ideas webpage. All right, that's it. So 2 new trade ideas tonight out of Solar City, still in on MPEL, Melco, and Valero. And we will be back. I'll have an update again on 4 more stocks, 3 or 4 more stocks tomorrow, and I'll be back Wednesday night with the market update. All right, everyone, have a great Tuesday. And remember, the Fed starts their meeting tomorrow, and it comes out with their announcement on Wednesday afternoon. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.